Today's session is on the pre-configuration process for Onevue products with Primex. The first thing you'll need to do is log into the Onevue site. The one way you can do it is go to council.primexonevue.com. You'll load in your email and password. If you don't have this site favorited at this point, you can go to our website and click on this button, the Onevue login, and it will take you to the same site. You will need your email and your password to log into the system. If you don't have a password, more than likely you haven't activated your account. So you will need to go to the email that you got, which you should have gotten from support@primexonevue.com. You'll need to click this link in order to activate your account. This is the only way that you can access the software the very first time, and you need to do it through this email that was sent to you from support@primexonevue.com. You will then enter in your password, accept the terms and conditions, and then you will get access to Onevue. So the first thing that you'll come to is the dashboard. The dashboard gives you a full scope view of everything that you need to do. For the pre-configuration process, you're going to need to go to the to-do list. Now, this is our demo site, so we've got a lot of information here, but typically you won't see all of this stuff on here. What you'll want to do is look for an order, and there should only be a couple in the to-do list here. Keep in mind that an order can have a maximum of 20 different devices on it. So if you have more than 20 devices on an order, you'll see multiple orders in here for this. Now, the device pre-configuration can have such things as single probe sensors, which monitor refrigerators and freezers, dual probe sensors, which can monitor a refrigerator-freezer combo or two units that are close together. The IAQ, indoor air quality sensor, which monitors temperature and humidity, differential pressure sensors. And then we also have PoE devices, which are wired devices using an Ethernet cable for that. So let's go to the order that we're going to configure, which is here. And at this point, you have two different options. You have the ability to start the process on your own, which is very simple once you see it. But you do also have the option if you want a Primex project manager to contact you. So let's walk through this first. If we click on this button, it comes to a screen. And if you don't have a phone number in here, you'll want to make sure that you do have one in there. And it also gives you the option of when you want a project manager to call you. I really need to get this done, so I'm going to have somebody call me tomorrow morning. And I'll submit this. This will go to one of our project managers who will send you some dates and times to set this up, and then they'll send you a meeting invite for that. So let's go back to the first screen that we were at. Now we're going to try this on our own. We have all of the information for the networks. And again, we have two different options here. If you have already created a network or been into the system, you may see multiple network profiles over here as we have in this case currently. In that case, you'll want to do what's called, I'll use one of these to start the configuration process for these devices. But I want to go through what it takes to actually create a new network first. So if it's your first time logging in and you haven't created a network profile, the first thing, again, that you're going to want to do is create a new network. And first, I'm going to go through the wired network. So this is in cases if you have PoE devices or Ethernet devices, if they're not running on some sort of Wi-Fi network infrastructure. You want to create a name for this. So I'm going to call this Sales Office Wired. And again, this just denotes it from anything else that you already may have or add to these networks. If you click on the advanced options, it does give you some additional information, such as if you need to create this with a static IP instead of DHCP, you would then add your static profiles parameters here. So in this case, I'm going to just keep this as a DHCP, and then I'm going to save it and continue from there. And then what you'll see is it'll actually take you right back into that configuration process. You can start from there. But I want to go back to the start. So let's say we're at this page, and I'm going to try it on my own. But again, I'm going to create a new network, and I'm going to use, I have a Wi-Fi or a wireless profile. Again, you put in a network label. This just hides that SSID and denotes the different network that's in there. So I'm going to say North Sales Office Wireless. Then I'm going to add in my SSID. And again, this is case sensitive, so be sure that you get the right information from your IT group. Gives you various security types, and you'll again get this from your network team, and you'll get your passphrase as well. So you want to make sure that, again, this is case sensitive, so you want to make sure that you enter in the right information, because if these two do not match, you'll notice that I cannot continue to move forward with this process. So I'm going to retype this in because I know I messed it up. And I'm going to click save here. But there is also some additional options. If you have some additional authentications, some security networks have different protocols. So if you have some different authentications, there's some different options here. And again, if it requires a static IP, you just click that button down there to add in the static parameters. So we're going to unclick this. We're going to hide all those options. We just have the setup here, and I am going to save and continue from here. And now I'm going to start the actual configuration process for these devices. So I'm going to select the network that I had, which is the North Sales Office Wireless. And there is also advanced options here. So if you are using static IPs, you may have some additional configuration pieces here as well. Most setups are typically easy like this. So what we're going to do is add in the names that we want to do. So we're going to call this the elementary school gym. Now, one thing to keep in mind that there's a name. This is the actual name of the device that will show up in the Onevue software. The label is actually what's going to show up on the label when it comes shipped to you. This is actually a nice feature so that you can see the label on the box. The label on the device matches where you're going to potentially install it. Keep in mind, the label only has the ability to hold 20 characters. So this area here, I can only add up to 20 characters for that. And typically, you'll want the name and the label to match there. So I'm going to create this as the elementary hallway. And again, it's got the same label there. And once I'm done, I've got my network in, I've got my names, and I'm going to move on to the next one. And what you'll notice is that you'll see the change in colors to show you which device you're actually working on next. In some cases, it may show you a picture, gives you a description of what you're working on as you walk through the process for this. So I'm going to, again, find my North Sales Office, and I'm going to call this the Nurse's Office 1, and I'm going to get I can cut and paste this to move it down to the label as well, so those two match. And again, I do have advanced features here. If I have a static IP, if I need to change the time zone before it gets on site, but most people we just typically add in the name and label for this. Save and continue. Now on the next device, this is a dual probe sensor. So in this particular case, we want to, again, make sure that we've got the right wireless network that we want to have. And we're going to put in something that this is what we're going to monitor. This is the device, what this is going to monitor. Is it a nurse's station fridge? Is it a freezer? It's what we're actually going to monitor. So I'm going to write nurse's fridge into this area, and then as you notice, it changes that label on there as well. The ranges here, you want to make sure that you put in, and you want to click either Fahrenheit or Celsius before you change that in the software here. And I'm going to go down here, and I've got the other nurse's freezer that I'm going to change, and it's going to change that label for that. So again, what you're monitoring is actually the area or device that this is going into. So you want to make sure that you have the proper information in there, the range, and then you're going to save and continue. Now at this point, because this is the last one on my list, it's going to take me to my confirm shipment screen. So this is where an area where you want to review to make sure that you have everything in there right, the names, what you want the label to say as they come, and most especially, you want to watch this network, that it's the right network that you want to have. If you do need to make any changes, you can always click this button here, and it will take you back to that area. And let's just say I wanted this to actually be 31. So I can click save and continue, and it'll take me back to the confirmation area. And then once I'm done, I'm going to click the shipment. This will go into our project managers who will review these, make sure everything's complete. If there are any issues, they may call you to change them, and then they will move it to production and ready for shipment. So if you have any questions, please contact us, and we'll be more than happy to help you, but hopefully this tutorial will help you. Thank you for your time.